She held the watch in her hand, turning it slowly as if it carried more weight than metal and glass. "You forgot your watch here," the boss had said over the phone, her voice calm but unusually soft. "Can I come by and return it?" 5 minutes later, she was standing at his door. He hadn't even had time to process the call. The small apartment was still messy from a long workday, laundry folded halfway, a cold cup of coffee on the table. When the knock came, sharp and real, his heart jumped. He opened the door, surprised to see her there in person. Not the confident executive version everyone at the office feared, but a woman in a simple coat, hair loose, holding his watch carefully in her palm. "I didn't want to leave it at the office," she said. It looked important. He thanked her, a little awkward, and invited her inside out of politeness more than intention. She hesitated, then stepped in, glancing around as if she were seeing a different world, his world. "It's quiet," she said. He smiled faintly. "I like it that way." They stood there for a moment, neither moving, the air heavy with things unsaid. She handed him the watch, their fingers brushing briefly. It was nothing, and yet it felt like too much. "I didn't know you lived alone," she added, almost casually. "Most people don't ask," he replied. She walked toward the window, looking out at the dim street below. The silence stretched, not uncomfortable, just unfamiliar. At work, their conversations were short, professional, efficient. Here, without desks or titles between them, something felt different, real. "I called it an excuse," she admitted quietly. "The watch." He turned to look at her, surprised. She didn't meet his eyes. "Sometimes," she continued, "we forget how to be human when we're always in charge." That was when he understood. This visit wasn't about a watch at all. He didn't know what would happen next. He only knew that the distance between them, once so carefully maintained, was already beginning to disappear, and neither of them had planned for that. He offered her a glass of water, more to give his hand something to do than because she asked. She accepted it, wrapping both hands around the glass as if grounding herself. "I shouldn't stay long," she said, yet made no move toward the door. He leaned against the counter, watching her. In the office, she was always decisive, sharp, unreachable. Here, in the soft light of a single lamp, she looked tired, human. "You don't have to," he replied gently. She took a slow sip, then finally looked at him. "Do you know how many people see me every day and never actually see me?" The question caught him off guard. He shook his head. "They see a title," she continued. "A position, expectations, but not this." She gestured vaguely around the room. "Not moments like this." He nodded, understanding more than he expected. "It's the same for me. At work, I'm invisible unless something goes wrong." That made her smile, small, genuine. "I notice," she said. "I always have." The words hung between them. He wasn't sure whether to believe them, but he wanted to. She wandered toward the bookshelf, tracing her finger along the spines. "You read a lot," she observed. "It helps me escape," he admitted. She turned back to him. "From what?" He hesitated, then quietly, "From feeling like I don't belong anywhere." For a moment she said nothing. Then she stepped closer, not touching him, but close enough that he could feel her presence. "I feel that too," she whispered. The room seemed smaller suddenly. He was aware of his heartbeat, of how carefully he was breathing. This wasn't a workplace conversation. There were no rules here, only choices. "I didn't come here to complicate things," she said, almost to herself. "Neither did I," he replied. Their eyes met, and the silence spoke louder than words. There was restraint in it, but also possibility. She glanced at the door, then back at him. "I should go," she said again. But she didn't move. He took a step back, giving her space. "Whatever you choose," he said softly. "It's okay." That was when she realized something important. He wasn't asking anything from her. No pressure, no expectation, just honesty. She smiled sadly. "That's dangerous," she said. "Why?" he asked. "Because it makes me want to stay." And in that moment, both of them knew this was no longer about a forgotten watch. It was about a line already crossed, whether they admitted it or not. She finally set the glass down, the soft clink echoing in the quiet room. "If I stay," she said carefully, "things will change." He nodded. They already have. That truth settled between them. She took a slow breath, as if letting go of something she'd carried for years. Control, perhaps, or fear. Then she walked to the window again, staring out into the night. "I built my life so carefully," she said. "Every step planned, every risk calculated. But standing here, I realize how lonely that made me." He joined her, keeping a respectful distance. "Loneliness doesn't care how successful you are." She laughed softly, a sound that surprised even her. "No, it doesn't." She turned to face him fully now. "I didn't come here expecting this. I thought returning your watch would be simple." She paused. "But I think I wanted someone to see me, without needing anything from me." He met her gaze. "I see you." Those 3 words seemed to undo her. Her eyes glistened, but she didn't look away. Instead, she reached out, not to touch him, but to take off her coat, laying it over the chair as if making a quiet decision. "I don't want to pretend tomorrow never comes," she said. "I know the risks, the whispers. The rules?" He swallowed. "Then don't pretend." She stepped closer now, close enough that there was no space left for doubt. "Promise me something," she said. "What?" he asked. "Promise me we'll be honest, even if it gets hard." He didn't hesitate. "I promise." That was all it took. Not a dramatic gesture, not a rushed moment, just 2 people choosing truth. She rested her forehead lightly against his, eyes closed. 5 minutes, she whispered. "That's how long it took for my life to feel different." He smiled. "Some things don't need more time than that." When she finally pulled away, there was no regret in her expression, only calm. Whatever came next would be faced openly. She picked up her coat, pausing at the door. "I'll see you tomorrow," she said. "At work?" he asked. She smiled. "No," as 2 people who decided not to hide. The door closed softly behind her. He looked down at the watch still on his wrist and realized time hadn't been lost that night. It had been found,